Hello everybody and welcome back to Expressive Photography. A happy new year from myself and Ann Kristin. This is the first video of 2023, and in it I want to address the classic thing, which is why our New Year's resolutions and all our plans for the year tend to crumble by the middle of the month or by the end of January at the very latest. Let's look at why we fail and how we can prevent that so that we can move into 2023 becoming better, happier, more functional, better photographers, happier photographers, and just generally happier with our whole photographic experience. Before I do that, if you're a regular viewer or someone who's new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It's really good for us to get the content out to you on a more timely manner. Loads of exciting things coming in the next couple of months. I'm going to be down in Spain with Adam Gibbs and we're going to be making some videos together down there. So really looking forward to bringing you some more content this year. So this may sound familiar. More people join gyms in January than in any other month of the year. And also there's things like dry January and stuff where we all give up drinking alcohol because of the abuse and the excess of the Christmas and New Year period. Photography is the same. We tend to come into the new year planning, having these expectations. This will be the year that it's all going to come together. And more often than not, we get a little bit down the line and everything just tends to settle back into its normal place where we end up almost exactly the same as we did last year, where we just get comfortable, we end up doing the same things become a bit repetitive and it gets a bit boring. And the key to changing that is to change the relationship that you have with your photography. Now, that may all sound a bit space age and so forth, but what I've said to myself this year is I want to bring more positivity and I want to just be generally happier and cheerier when I'm making these videos, because everyone thinks I'm super serious and I am very, very far from super serious. Quite the opposite, in fact. So what I will use language sometimes like, changing our relationship with our photography, and it might sound a little bit space age, but that's pretty much what it is. Your art, your creativity, your expression is going to mirror you. If you're happy and upbeat and feel positive, you're going to feel happy and upbeat and positive about your photography. Everything you do will make you feel okay because you feel okay about being you. If you're not feeling okay about who you are, or your photography is making you feel worse about who you are, then that is pretty much a fundamental core thing that you can change. I think one of the really important things is we spend an awful lot of time worrying and fretting about things that we have no control over. We have absolutely no control over the weather or other people's judgment of our work or whether other people are going to like our work or not. We've got no control over that, so why worry? Why obsess about, trying to make other people happy or trying to control the weather with some giant machine like Kate Bush's cloud busting? The most important thing is photography needs to make you feel good about yourself. Being out in the landscape needs to make you feel good about being in the landscape. If it's a cloudy day, a wet day, a rainy day, a grey day, a beautiful golden sunset day, all of those are good days because it's better than being sat in your office. I'm sure many of you have jobs where you would rather be outside on a regular basis, or some of you may have jobs where you're outside too much of the time and wish you had a warm, dry job instead. But for many of us, we spend an awful lot of time sat at our desk. We spend a lot of time sat in front of the computer. One of the things that was happening to me at the middle of last year was that even though I was doing tons of running, my back was getting really, really sore just because I was spending so long at my desk. And I took the step near the end of last year to get a standing desk. I already have one on this side of my office, but I did a complete office overhaul and I've got now a standing desk for my main office desk. Thanks to the people at Yo-Yo Desks for providing this desk for me, and it now allows me to stand most of the time. So if I'm writing at my computer, I can stand The only time I really have to sit down is when I'm recording these videos. So that has made a really massive impact on my back, which means I'm just happier when I'm outside. I'm more mobile. So that was a little thing I could change that made spending so much time in my office better, but it also meant that I wasn't creaky and achy all the time. So when I was outside, I wasn't performing or moving very well. So that's just one example of the type of thing that you can do if you do spend a lot of time sat at your desk and it's affecting your mobility and it's affecting your back. Get a standing desk. It's a small investment really for something that's going to change so much about your posture and how you feel about your body. So I think the real focus of this video is the reason our New Year's resolutions or many of our plans fail is an unrealistic expectation of what those things are going to materialize or how they're going to materialize, and the pressure that we put on ourselves saying, okay, I'm going to study 5 hours a day, or every time I get out at the weekend I'm going to practice, and everything becomes forced. The more that we can just enjoy ourselves and play, and if you do need to learn something, if you do need to learn a new technique, then focus on that for 45 minutes and then just go out and play. Go and do something else. There's no coincidence that school lessons are of a certain duration. There's only so long that kids or university students can focus on one thing before they want to be going off and doing something else. Photography is the same. If you want to study a new technique, study it for 45 minutes and then walk away. Same if you're at the end of last year, I produced a video how to change your photography in 45 seconds. And one of the most important things was, am I enjoying this? If you're not enjoying the process of either being in the landscape with your camera or in front of the computer with your camera, then you need to change this relationship that you have with your photography and your creativity. I think the important thing moving forward into 2023 is nothing will change unless you're aware of the things that aren't sitting well. Now, yes, it's easy to give up alcohol in January, but, very, very soon we're back at it and we're having a bottle of wine every night and, things derail fairly quickly. People join a gym and they might go for a couple of weeks and then it's like, well, it's raining, I'm not going to go to the gym, or I'd rather have a piece of cake. And those are, we just give in. Willpower isn't enough to propel us through life. And I think what I said earlier, that our photography is going to mirror our life, and we can actually use our photography to help root out some of those differences or difficulties that we're having. Many times I can feel very heavy-hearted and a bit down, and if it's just constantly grey weather and whatever, sometimes it does get you down, particularly in the winter time. However, I went out for a walk this morning just around the loch near the house and then up through the woods, and there was a certain reassurance that life was everywhere. Things were growing, even the trees and the mosses and the lichens. It was just a beautiful feeling that everything was just waiting for spring, but it's still very vibrant and very alive. One of the things we're focusing on the Expressive Photography Forum this month is the quality of luminosity in the landscape. If you're a regular viewer to the channel, I regularly talk about the 5 triggers of luminosity, contrast, atmosphere, geometry, and color. I've written numerous books about them, all of which are available in our store. But luminosity is the giver of life. It's just the quality of luminosity. Photography is talking about light and our relationship with light. And if we think about our relationship with luminosity, we can actually energize ourselves by understanding the role of luminosity. One of the reasons we like waterfalls flowing down through woodland is because of that beautiful white luminosity surrounded by big trees, or the way surf crashes into a coastline, those big surging waves with the big white foam. All of these are very important things. The silver lining around a cloud, or when the sun pokes around the side of a mountain, that luminosity gives us energy. If we change our relationship with luminosity, then everything else will follow. that New Year's resolutions fail because we're not changing anything. We think we're going to make differences. We set out to try and do something different, but we are not changing ourselves. We're just changing our idea of what we want to achieve. If we want to grow, if we want to evolve, if we want to become the best version of ourselves that we possibly can be, photography can help. Because as we change our relationship with our photography, it follows through that we're going to change the relationship that we have with ourselves. This is the journey that I've certainly been on since 2017 when I went into the Gobi Desert. As many of you know, I've got this new book coming out, which is a celebration of luminosity. It's the understanding that even when you're feeling dark and down and miserable about yourself or the world in general, there is light everywhere, and we can use that light to lift ourselves, to energize ourselves, to make ourselves realize that even in the dark, there's always going to be some light somewhere, and we just have to hold on to that little spark. So this is a really straightforward video at the start of this year. As I said, in a week's time, I'm going to be going off to Spain, joining Adam Gibbs to run a couple of workshops down there. So we're really excited about that. I'm going to be spending a lot more time in the field this year than I have over the last year, and then of course the 2 years during the pandemic. So you can expect to see an awful lot more videos from me actually out in the field, in the landscape, looking at compositions and trying to understand what it is that makes us point our cameras in certain directions. If you want to dive deeper into the whole concept of luminosity, check out the Expressive Photography Members Forum. It's been running now for 18 months, and we have well over 130 people now subscribed to it. And we've introduced the opportunity now to have a 30-day free trial. So you can sign up and get 30 days free access, unlimited access, and there's hundreds of different topics and videos and stuff on there now that you can go back and look at. Tons of learning material and an amazing community of like-minded people who have a very different relationship with their photography than most, I would say. So click on the link below and hopefully you can enjoy 30 days of access to the EP forum. Above and beyond that, the last thing just to mention before we close up today is the Out of Darkness book pre-sale is ending on the 8th of January, Monday the 8th of January, I believe, and the pricing structure is going to change slightly, including the free shipping is not going to be continued for customers in the US and the UK and a couple of European countries. If you want to pre-order your copy of Out of Darkness, which will be signed by myself to you before Monday, then do so to make sure that you're going to get it at the best price. It will still, of course, be available to buy, but the pricing structure is going to change slightly. So, New Year's resolutions, don't bother with them. Just start changing your relationship with your photography and everything else will start unfolding. I look forward to talking to you on a weekly basis, but for now, a happy new year to you. I hope you have had a wonderful time and everyone is happy and healthy. And yeah, take care and we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.